beautiful tune there on Shabbat. Shalom. What a beautiful tune. Um, you see in my background I have some stuff. I just let it be there because it's a sign that yesterday we were moving from my daughter's um, apartment to and from somewhere where she would like to belong. So today is Shabbat and all this I had to leave it because I don't work on Shabbat, so I leave it. I don't care how messy it looks. I will cleanse this house on Thursday, so it's all okay. So, what's about? Yeah, we need to move sometime. Should I talk about moving on? Moving on with your life, get over it and move on. Abraham seemed to have been asked to move on from Uriah and up to the promised land. So sometimes we are like Abraham. We wish upon a star this night. I don't know that Christmas song, but we are wishful thinkers. We are hopefully encouraged by our opportunities, and maybe for Abraham, Ur. Let me take just a moment. Ur in Chaldean. You see, it's known. This Ur in Chaldea. It's known for its library. It was in Mesopotamia, the old Chaldean Babylon, Mesopotamia. And you see, Mesopotamia is wow. Now I see that Ur is close. Where Abraham was living is also close to Job in the Bible. The man that was really tested for his faith. So Job's village where he lived is all in Norwegian, so you wouldn't see. So I don't mind you seeing it, but it's now Iraq. I think it's today's Iraq, Mesopotamia, Iraq, Baghdad, Kirkuk, around there, where the civilization's crib laid. You see, where the civilization was established. So it's a great background Mr. Abraham had. I think he was a reflector, philosopher and thinker. But he lacked in this community. They were all about knowledge. I want you to pay attention to this. He lived in a city and in a country that was full of Sumerian knowledge. And if you go to the Sumerian culture, it was the beginning of the society. It was the civilization, the town, Ur, and all these surrounding. They were towns. So it shows a high degree of society and civilization, where people were gathering together. You can also read about the Tower of Babel, Babel, and it's kind of it's written in the Bible. You pay attention to this, you atheists. I have had enough of you. The Tower of Babel is written in the Bible, and people that think about the Bible today, they deemed it to be just a fake story, something like that. But in this area, the knowledge, where maybe I say yes, maybe, because I'm not that smart, I'm not that bright, I'm not that intelligent, I have no knowledge. But I have read and I have gathered over my time span that in those areas it was so high knowledge. It may have reached beyond our own civilization and our own ability to comprehend. So the knowledge back then, they found library in the town of Ur that was so advanced mathematics, and lecturers and books and PhD. I think those that are proud of PhD today will envy those people. You see, as I told you back then, in some days ago, my attitude when I was learning, and that was I was kind of arrogant. I was kind of blown. I can't describe it. Let me put on some music. It's no. I wish they could send something more nice. But Abraham lived in the cradle of this society, in this crib of a civilization that was so highly advanced. So maybe God picked him out just for some curious reason, I don't know, but it may have had to do with some I don't know. They are babbling today about on the National Geographic Channel that those aliens and so on, Sumerian were people from other planets that visited us, and that is not into my topic here, but it's kind of from the travelers to a single man's travel. He stood up with his family and everybody and went. Mr. Abraham. And I think the world, Earth back then, was in its early stages, or very late, because those countries that he came from were about to be deserted. It was kind of, he was the focal point. He was the time that Ur and this Mesopotamia got lost. Maybe the Abraham Accord, which is now returning back. Abraham Accord, the peace agreement treaty with Israel. So they took a long time to reach that stage. I'm happy to see that even those that were from there needed Israel in some way, needed to make peace, make amends. And maybe the Israelites, where Abraham came from, it's a very big symbolic mark, or a big symbolic what can I say? It's of a huge symbolic impact, this agreement, because it's all about Abraham. We call it Abraham religion. The Jews, to be Jewish, to be Christian, and to be a Muslim. It's the three major religions. And every religion in some aspect has some backlashes on them. I think the commandment that God said to Abraham, move from here. This is not your place. You have to go to the land I will, the country I will show you. So it was also about seeing, and also about believing before seeing. And God tested Abraham by this Isaac and all these kind of processes that Abraham went through. So those that are preaching about Abraham, they don't take this story of his into regard. But I think if you want to move someplace, you are going through so many processes that will demotivate you or motivate you. In Abraham's case, he was tested to the uttermost limits by asking to slaughter his promised son. Not only gave God the promise of a new country, a place to stay, that seems to be so far off. But he also promised Abraham that next year you will have a son. And everything seemed to be beyond their limitations, both to come to the land, Canaan, the land of Canaan. And also to get a son, because they were too old. Sarai laughed at this message, which the representative from God bear testimony of, that you are to be with that child, and his ancestors will be as the heavenly stars. Look up and see all the stars. So Abraham was asked to see, not only by his belief that a new country, he was also promised a son which was beyond his own ability to reproduce or impregnate, and he said also by Isaac, the people he will make is going to be so great that look at the stars, look and count, try to count. That's how great your nation will be. And Abraham, I think he was tested to the limits of his ability. So it couldn't be done either to come to Cana or have a son. And all these people compared with the multitude of stars up there, which he couldn't even count. He was from a very educated place. People there were highly advanced, and he was given a task to count the stars. This crazy God we have to deal with. he gives us some commandments that is beyond our ability to keep. And talking about the commandment, the 10 commandments. How can you not envy a neighbor? How can you not take something without feeling guilt? It's beyond our ability to keep them. But it's very simple, it's very stringent, it's very... So it is something that is beyond our ability to live for. So this is the introduction to what I had to say. And you see, people need to move up. To move. My daughter was moving yesterday. It was back, but she is advancing. She is keeping on. From Australia, from Mom to some the People's High School, and advanced there to Australia. And not only Australia, she went also to Melbourne. And when we as a family went there to be me and my firstborn daughter went to visit her, we even went to Tasmania. We went further and further, more south. So those people in Tasmania may not be aware of those northern Vikings have been here yet again. We have to fight them back. So now she came from upper north to south again, Bodø to Sandefjord. And it's kind of, you follow your heart. Something tell you to move. And maybe you are not even so very convinced. So I think God, yes, a reflection over this, God, since he saw that Abraham was old, all this kind of stuff, he needed to make Abraham more believing, more trust in me. Look, now you are walking. So the next problem is you have to slaughter, you have to give a son. Now he got a son. So the promise was kept, and now you have to slaughter your son. And then Abraham was not even doubting. His action was early in the morning. He stood up and went to Moriah. It's a place called Golgotha. That is the same place. They say, even the Jews say that Moriah, the hill of Moriah, is where Jesus was crucified. So Abraham was to take his son up there. He was told. And Abraham didn't even hesitate. So he went there. So people that think that Abraham was a cruel child molester or something like that, they convert. They don't see things deliberately. They don't see the Bible or the story in perspective. Who knows what Abraham knew? In his regard, no one, in his opinion, no one would ask such a thing, which was the uttermost, because he had to connect some dots. He had to find out. He that promised my son will also promised that he is going to be a great people. He is going to be the founder of a great people. I have to do what this God is telling me. If not, I don't want to break the agreement on my behalf. If that is what it takes to commit, I have to commit to those commands, even if I have to leave my mind out. And obviously, that mind out was the first task. You are going to another country. Take all what you have and bring it. And that was Abraham. So, where are you? Who are you? What are you doing? Something of this story have to make sense even for you, even how limited you are. You have to figure things out in your own life. Haven't you been given some tasks? Are you that high and mighty and just believe in science and all this crazy stuff? Can't you believe in yourself? You have to connect some dots. You have to be, believe in time. Believe that time here is going to make it. If you don't believe in time, you will definitely get lost. I told my daughter yesterday, there were someone there that didn't even reflected on it. But if you go back, if you could, in a time machine, go back just a second, I would believe that the time that are passing is not second by second. So if you are in fact able to go back 1 second, if you adjust the time machine 1 second, it's not definite that you will appear the second before. Maybe the time construct is like you are connected with the initiate beginning. So I said to her, while someone was listening, maybe we end up in the start, in the beginning of time. If we just go back half a second, or a second, fragment of a second, if that was possible, but it's not possible. We are here and now. So you have to believe in here and now. So if you can just go back 1 second, maybe you will not end up 1 second that was past, but just from the get-go of the time. So that is something very void called, that is very uncertain. That is the uncertain principle. And you never know. Abraham had to do what he had to do. And you too. You have to do what you have to do. Because the time will tell you when you are going to do it. So believe, my friend, in that. Believe that when time comes, don't despair now, because you don't hear anything, you don't know anything. But from this cradle of society, this cradle of civilization, that you are in, that Abraham was in, that was when it all starts. So your time machine will start whenever it starts. This is somewhat off topic, but I think we have to go deep in this kind of matter. Because when you are traveling, you are on the road, you will meet so many, both possibilities but also obstacles. And the obstacles, if you don't regard them as advancement, you will hold back. My friends, try to see your situation from a different point. That not every obstacle is a hindrance. It's the possibility, it's just a closed door that you need to try to figure out how to get open. Don't regard every closed door as locked. There are doors for you to open. Sometimes you must wait, as I was talking about yesterday, but sometimes you have to believe that this door is my door. This door is not for someone else. This door is for me to go through. And this door tells me that I'm now entering a different realm, a different life, a different perspective. A door is if you can see through a door, then you see, it's very symbolic, then you see into a different perspective, into a different realm. So try to meet the doors in your life. Try to go to the door. Maybe you need to knock on it. Prayer is always a good tool. Prayer and peace of mind and no forcing. Believe makes you not force anything. It makes you not rush anything. It will make you believe, will make you patient. So Abraham was given those tasks, as many other biblical men and women. Go up to the Mount Moriah. Someone did that as promised. God said, I will provide for the offering. So, as Abel was for Cain, Jesus is for us. His blood is more clear, more loud than Abel's, but still it's the same. God bless you. Shabbat Shalom.